Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another lesson. If you're new to my channel, thank you so much for stopping by and checking this lesson. I hope you like it. Give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. If you are already subscribed to my channel, thank you so much for coming back and checking out this lesson. And today's lesson is a lesson I should have done a long time ago, just never got around to doing it. It's going to be geared mainly toward if you're a beginner player, especially if you like this acoustic country music and doing the covers and all. Obviously you can use these chords in other songs as well, but just about all the covers or lessons on my channel for country music have some type of combination of these chords I'm going to show you. So I'm going to go through, show you the chords, different ways you can play the chords, and some of the ways that I play it, and kind of tell you the reason why I play it that way. So we're just going to go down kind of, I guess, the acoustic alphabet. We'll start with the A. I play my A this way, and that's just barring across with my index finger on the D, G, and B string of the second fret. You strum from the A string down. Okay. You can also play it this way, which is your middle finger, your ring finger, and your pinky on that D, G, and B string. Or you can play it this way with your index finger, middle finger, and ring finger on that D, G, and B string. Okay. I play it just barring it, and the reason I play it that way is for you have this little A sus4 chord, which is when you're playing your A, you can put either your middle finger or your ring finger onto the B string of the third fret for the A sus4. So in a lot of country songs, you'll have that. And to me, it's easier playing it that way. We'll go on to the A minor. And A minor is played with your index finger onto the B string of the second fret, your middle finger onto the D of, let's say second fret, your index finger onto the B of the first fret, your middle finger onto the D of the second, and your ring finger onto the G of the second, and play from the A string down for A minor. If you'll take your your ring finger off that G string of the second fret, that's an A minor 7. So A minor 7. Okay. And I think that is all the A's. We'll move on to the B's. And obviously the biggest B chord you'll be using is the B minor. And that'll be your most difficult chord, which is just barring across all the chords from the A string down on the second fret. And then your ring finger goes onto the D string of the fourth fret. Your pinky goes onto the G string of the fourth fret. And then your middle finger goes onto the B string of the third fret for B minor. Like I said, that's going to be the most difficult chord that you'll have in a lot of these songs. You can play it. You got your A minor shape. If you move it up 2 frets, you can play the B minor that way. But you can't really add the A string, because when you play the B minor this way, obviously you got the B here for your root note. And then if you do the B minor this would like you did the A minor, you'd be playing an A note instead of the B. But you can just play from that D string down. So until you get comfortable playing that way, you can just play it like you do your A minor. C, just your regular traditional C, will be the index finger onto the first fret of the B. Your middle finger will be on the second fret of the D, and then your ring finger onto the third fret of the A. You strum from the A string down. Then you have your C at 9. And you can play the C at 9 this way by just adding your pinky to the B string of the second fret. That will also be a C at 9. But if you want to play it this way, it'll be the your index finger onto the D of the second, your middle finger onto the A of the third, and then your ring finger onto the B of the third. And then strum from the A string down. That'll be your C at 9. So C at 9, or you can play just add your pinky to that B string of the third fret for a C at 9 this way. And I try to play my C chord this way a lot, because you can do a lot of those little hammer-ons. So that's one reason I prefer when if there's a C in the song. I try to keep this chord shape, and of course the C at 9 is in there, and I'll just put my pinky on that way. But I still do it the other way as well. But this is one reason you may want to do it your C this way, because so many songs have that little hammer on to the D string of that 2nd fret. Okay, I think that's all the C's. I will show you this. This is like that C. You have that little walk down, which I think is a C over B chord, and that'll be your index finger onto that B of the 1st fret, and then your middle finger goes on to the A of the 2nd fret. And you'll have that little chord in there a lot of times when you're coming from an A minor to a C, or from a C walking down to the A minor. Okay? So that's one you want to use. I guess we're going to the D's. Your D is this way, which is your middle finger onto the high E of the 2nd fret, your index finger onto the G of the 2nd fret, and then your ring finger goes onto the B of the 3rd fret. And just strum from that D string down. And that's going to be a D. Now, if you lift your middle finger off the high E of the 2nd fret, that's a D sus2. Probably 90% of the time I play a D chord, I just play the D sus2. I hardly ever put my middle finger down on that high E of the 2nd fret, unless I'm having to pick. I actually need that note, but as far as strumming, I usually just do the D sus2. It just makes it a little bit easier. You know, it's not that extra finger you have to put down on strings, basically. Then you have this kind of F sharp over D. Now you play this a couple ways. You can keep your D shape and then just use your thumb to catch that low E on the 2nd fret. So you can play that D over F sharp this way. But I usually prefer playing it this way, which I'll put my index finger onto the low E of the 2nd fret. My middle finger goes onto the G of the 2nd fret, and then my ring finger will be on the B of the 3rd fret. So usually that D over F sharp I play this way. And you can either put your pinky on that high E of the 3rd, or you can play it without it. Whichever you want to do it. You also, we had this traditional C shape. If you move that up 2 frets, you can also play a D this way. And that's just just a little bit of a different voice of the D chord. So like I say, that C shape, just move up 2 frets, and you can play the D that way. I think that's it for the D. We're going to the E. And the E will be played putting your index finger onto the G string of the 1st fret, middle finger onto the A of the 2nd, and then your ring finger onto the D of the 2nd, and play from that open low E down. That'll be your E. If you take your index finger off the G string of that 1st fret, you'll have an E minor. So you can play E minor that way, or if you just want to bar across that A and D of the 2nd fret, you can play the E minor that way. Or if you want to use your index finger and your middle finger on the A and D string, you can play your E minor that way, which is probably one of the most proper ways, because you can do this E minor 7, where you'd be adding your ring finger onto the B of the 3rd, and then your pinky on the high E to the 3rd for the E minor 7. So E minor, or the E minor 7. Okay, That's it for the E's. The F, obviously you got the bar F, which 99% of the time I never bar this, which is basically the same shape as the E minor. You're just moving everything up a string and then up to the first fret. So E minor, just keep that same shape, just move up a string, and then you'll be on the first fret through the third fret. Like I say, 99% of the time I never do my F chord that way unless I'm playing some rock song and I'm using a bunch of bar chords. The way I do my F is this way, which is index finger, first fret of the B, middle finger, second fret of the G, ring finger, third fret of the A, pinky, third fret of the D, and I just strum from that A string down. Now I know you don't really have that root note for F in there. You can wrap your thumb around and catch that root note if you want, but most of the way I play it, I just strum from my A string down. And the one reason, other than it being easier playing it this way than doing the bar, is for the fact you'll have so many songs that are going, like that C chord we was hammering on, you'll be hammering on to the G string of the second fret on the F chord. So that's the reason I play the F that way. And that's another reason I like playing my C this way, is just that transition from the F to the C, and also even that A minor. You already got your index finger on that B string of that first fret, so you really never have to move that. F, C, A minor, C, F. Just makes transitioning from one chord to the next so much easier. Then we'll go into the G. G's this way, which is your middle finger onto the low E of the third fret, your index finger onto the A of the second, your ring finger onto the B of the third, and then your pinky on the high E of the third. Just run from that low E string down. Now, 90% of the time, unless I'm having to pick, when I do my G chord, it's usually this way, where I don't even use my index finger on that A string of the second fret. Usually my my middle finger is resting on that A string to mute it. So like I say, unless I'm picking, 99% of the times you see me make a G chord, that's how I do it. And to me, it's just, like I say, just not adding that extra, how to put the extra finger down. And to me, it just feels a little more natural, just a little more relaxed doing it that way. Now, another way I do, and you'll see me in my lessons and stuff, do a G chord will be this way, which actually is a G7, because you'll be adding your index finger onto that B of the first fret. But that's on songs that several of my lessons have had that, or you'll be doing that little hammer onto that B string of the first fret. So that's another reason you may see me doing a G that way. And also, it's just the easy transition. So doing it that way, and I'm not even using that, I'm just, on this G, got my ring finger on the low E of the G. It's resting, muting that A string, and then my pinky is on the high E of that third fret. And like I say, one reason I do it that way is just that transitioning from one chord to the next makes it so much easier. Now I think that is just about all the chords. I hope I ain't forgot anything. And just about all the lessons that I've done for these country songs. Now you may be capoed, but it's still those same shapes. It might be different, chord, but it's still the same chord shapes that you can work on. If you are in drop D, which a lot of country songs are in drop D, And that's just basically lowering your low E down to match your D string. So all the chords are pretty much the same, other than if you was doing a G, and you would have to do the G this way, which is your your index finger onto the B of that third, and then my ring finger goes to the low E of the fifth, and there again, it rests on the A string and mutes it, doesn't hit the ring out. And you may say, well, why you gotta do a G this way, not the other way? Well, when you lower that E string down, your D note is up here. So now that you lowered it to a D, that moves that note that was on the third fret up to the fifth fret. So a while ago, when we was doing it this way, it moved this note up to here. So now you got to do it that way to get that G in there. So earlier it was like, I ain't gonna try to explain it to you, that'll just get you confused. But anyway, if you lower it down to a D from an E, that takes that G note that was here for that G chord and just moves it up to here. So you do that G that way. Your E minor, you can still, or E, where you was doing strumming from that E string down, well, that's not an E no more, that's a D. You can just play it from the A string down, or you can either bar across the second fret and get that low E, because that, now that you're barring that, is an E, because you got D, D sharp or E flat, and then E. Okay? So G, E minor. Like I said, then the rest of the chords will be the same. If you want to do like a little walk down to that D over F sharp top chord, you can still get the F sharp in there by just walking down using your middle finger on that low E of the fourth fret. Alright guys, I think that is about it, all I wanted to go over. Like I say, if you're a beginner, I think this could really, really help you out. I wish somebody would tell me this when I first started. It could have made things a whole lot easier to learn. But if you got any questions, just leave me a comment. Or any questions, I'll answer back. Leave a comment, let me know what you thought of this lesson. And as always, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.